Hello and welcome to Making Creativity Pay, a podcast where we talk to people in the creative industries about how they market and promote themselves. This episode is with Cerys Bradley talking about their show Sportsperson at the Fringe.
My name is Cerys Bradley, and the title of my show is Sportsperson. Sportsperson is a show about neurodiversity, gender queerness, and fitting in. Don't let the title fool you. It's not a pro sports show. It's about my experience of playing sports as a non-binary person.
And in terms of the Fringe, have you been many times before, either performing or as a visitor?
So the first time that I went to the Fringe was when I was in sixth form. So like after GCSEs, when everyone in my school was going to Ibiza or places like that, I dragged all of my friends up to the Edinburgh Fringe. So I came for the first time when I was 17 and then 18 as a visitor. And then as a performer, I performed for the first time at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2017. I came up with a group of friends and we did like a science improv show. So I was up for a week as part of that. It was like a revolving cast. And then 2018 did like a split bill science stand-up show, which again, revolving cast did a week. And then 2019, I did a full run split bill show with the comedian Rachel Wheatley. And so this is my fourth time performing.
How does it generally compare with other festivals?
In terms of the difference between this and other festivals, this one is obviously much bigger. A lot of the other festivals that I've been to, and I've done a lot this year developing the show, like Guildford, Bedford, Brighton, Leicester, Coventry, Machynlleth, Aberystwyth. I feel like a lot of those shows are maybe a bit like about taking your show to the audiences that you've kind of already established. Maybe Machynlleth is not the case for this, but I think the difference between Edinburgh and some smaller festivals is that you can build and find an audience whilst you're here because there are just so many people and there are so many people looking for things. Whereas other festivals in other cities, I think people are maybe less aware that there's a festival happening. And so there's a lot less like people rocking up on the day, coming to see a show, but they don't really care what show. And there's a lot more people looking for specific things or because they know you and they're excited that you come to their city.
How does it compare with gigging in general?
In terms of general gigging, like I'm doing an hour every single day. That's not how general gigging works. Normally it's like 5-10 minutes, and I normally only do maybe 1 or 2 gigs a week, if that. So it's just much bigger.
Given the costs of putting on a show, was there any hesitation in doing it?
Was there any hesitation in doing it? Yes, I don't. It's so much money. I'm really lucky that I'm working with a production company, and my agents are like contributing a lot to those costs. But yeah, I was apprehensive, and then there was a big question of like whether or not this is a good year to do it because with everything that's been happening in the last couple of years, like we weren't really sure what the Fringe was going to look like. Would it make more sense to wait a little bit longer and let the Fringe reestablish itself? So it was quite a big hesitation. Spent a really long time thinking about what kind of space we wanted to be in and what kind of time of day and all that kind of thing. And I knew that I wasn't going to come up if it didn't have like a time and a place that was going to suit the show. So yes, there was a lot of hesitation in doing it.
So which venue are you at and how big is the capacity? Was that a straightforward decision?
So I am performing in Wee Room in Gilded Balloon, which is a 50-seater. It was not a straightforward decision. I got very lucky with this room. I'm on at 4:40 p.m., which I think also is a good time for a debut show. Got very lucky with the time as well. And basically what happened is that my agent had another performer who was meant to be in this room at this time. He has a really good relationship with Gilded Balloon, has performed with them for many fringes and has an established audience in Edinburgh, normally does really well. And then she got a recurring role on television, and so wasn't going to be able to do the festival. And we were able to pitch them, this person that you've worked with and really like for years, can't do it anymore. Maybe you should take this complete unknown. And
Did you have to push yourself to try and get something bigger than you might be comfortable with, or did you kind of play it safe? And kind of was there any upfront cost an issue in that?
but it was not a straightforward decision because there were lots of other options, like things that were earlier in the day or things that were a bigger capacity that we didn't think that we could sell. I thought we were being cautious, but I think we were not kind of cautious enough with the room that we were in. I think the price is maybe a big problem. Like, I was excited to be part of Gilded Balloon. I am excited to be part of Gilded Balloon. But I worry that because I am a relatively new face to a lot of people, it's quite a big risk to spend more than £10 on a comedian that you don't know. And I think that's something that I'll think about in future years, whether or not that's like an appropriate price for my show. But we sort of, yeah, I didn't think that we were, I thought we had found an appropriate room. And then I've learned a lot doing this Fringe about where in the Fringe I maybe am better suited or I'm best suited. Is that something to think about for future years if we decide to come back up again? I don't think the upfront cost was an issue in my decision because I just sort of knew that I was going to be spending an enormous amount of money.
And so when you decided on a ticket price, did you have a gut feel, or was it researched or off the cuff?
In terms of deciding the ticket price, we basically went for the cheapest that we possibly could, which was constrained by the venue because they obviously have, you know, their costs that they set based on how much they need to charge and all of the other shows that they're running and things like that. So it wasn't a researched or an off the cuff decision. We kind of knew that we were going to go for the cheapest, which I don't know. I think it's maybe because I'm old now, but I kind of feel like £5 that is the appropriate amount, which my show is obviously more than that. So we've done better on like 2-for-1 days and the Pink Wednesday. But yeah, that's something to think about in future years.
In terms of getting people in, what's the main promotional strategy? Are you very much kind of old school flyers and things like that? Or is there much more of a focus on social media?
So we are flyering. We're doing lots and lots of flyering. We're working with a really great flyering team. So I'm out flyering every day. And then we've also got some great people who are helping us with the flyering to try and get the word out more. Done a bit of social media stuff. I'm not great at social media. I'm just sort of hovering on Twitter, waiting to see the posts of people like, oh, I'm heading up to Edinburgh Fringe. What should I go see? Trying to plug people's shows that way. And then quite lucky to be tapped into the like theatre quiz network here at Edinburgh. So that meets once a week and it's nice to go and meet a bunch of people and we like swap flyers and things. So I'm giving out lots of flyers for trans and non-binary shows after my show. And we can kind of, spread the word amongst ourselves. I'm exit flyering a lot of shows which have like similar themes or we think will have similar audiences. And hopefully that's been effective. So those are our main promotional strategies.
So other than yourself, obviously, what one act would you recommend to everyone to go and see?
In terms of an act that I would recommend to everyone, so I kind of feel like I should tell you all to go see Joz Norris's show Blink, with full disclosure that Joz is my director. But I've seen some really great stuff so far. I think you should all go see Jen Ives or Sam Nicoresti or both of those people, because they've got really, really good shows as well. So there we go. There's 3 acts other than myself that I would recommend to everyone.
And you yourself, kind of, what act are you most looking forward to see?
Well, I've seen a bunch of stuff already in terms of who I'm most looking forward to see. I've seen a bunch of stuff already, but I've got some tickets for later in the month. So Andrea Spitzo is up for a week, and I cannot wait to see Andrea's new show. I think it's going to be really exciting. And I've also got tickets to see Celia AB when my partner's coming up for a week. So I'm basically having to wait for her to come up to go see all the shows that we've kind of excitedly been talking about, which is a bit frustrating because I want to go see them now.
And in terms of kind of how you prepare, are you kind of very nervous beforehand, or are you cool, calm, and collected? Can you kind of, have dinner, go bang, straight and perform? Or, is the whole day taken up with thinking about the show?
So I can't go see anything before my show. I feel quite lucky that my show is at 4:40, because I can have like a very leisurely morning and then go out and do some flyering, do my show, and then I can go see as much stuff as I want, but I can't see anything beforehand. And then normally takes like, I've got quite a lot of props and stuff. So we've got like a 20-minute pack down, which is good. It's a really good thing about Goodability and the fact that they're doing like less shows, and it means that than they have done in previous years. We've got slightly more get in and get out time, and means things are like less rushed, can be a bit more careful. And that 20 minutes when we pack stuff down is really useful. And then maybe have like a 5 or 10 minute debrief with my technician, and if my producer is there and that kind of thing. So normally by that point, I'm kind of, I'm ready to go see stuff. So that I think I need a very long run up where I'm a bit useless and I can't really do anything. But as soon as the show's finished, the show's finished. And that has been the case for the shows that have gone really well and the shows that have not gone as well so far on the run. I think the shows that haven't gone quite as well, like I've been able to switch off and go see other stuff and then maybe have dwelled on it a little bit later. But I think I've been all right at moving from my show to becoming an enthusiastic audience member for other people's stuff. Okay. My show is Sportsperson. It's in Wee Room in Gilder Balloon. It's at 4:40 and it would be great to see you all there.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much. Big thanks to Cerys for their time. So details of Cerys' show are in the show notes. Thanks very much for listening.